I drew that myself. If you like it, thank you very much.
The next person to talk about is HaloMan07, or DGM, or just Alex. Alex was one of the... I can't remember when I exactly met him. I believe I was introduced to him by someone else. But Alex was very different from everyone else I had met at the time. While other people were putting up videos or just talking about movies or video games, I discovered that Alex was actually a voice actor. And he doesn't voice his own creations, but voices over very famous cartoon and animated movies, mostly from Disney. For one thing, this is a person who really does take his work seriously and actually tries to bring out his emotion through the characters. Not to mention, he's actually one of the only people I know who's not from the United States. He's from Canada. And for one thing, I'd just like to point out that he actually went through, like, this is just a little funny thing. He actually went through, like, a number of character changes on his channel. At one point, he was Ruben from Lilo and Stitch, then the Todd from Plague Dogs, then apparently Zangoose from Pokemon, and I believe at one point he was like Fritz the Cat. But anyway, besides that, just want to say, Alex, he's very talented at what he does. He tries his best to act out the characters he voices over, and so if you really want to see something who takes his work seriously, then definitely do check out HaloMan's channel. His link's in the sidebar. And so with that, Alex, here's to you.
What are you doing? No, no, no! Ah! It's back!
Next to mention is, of course, Huey Lewis. No, not the band, the animated movie reviewer. Now, I knew Huey Lewis even before he was Huey Lewis, and he was still Logan's animated movie reviews. He had posted a video response to my review on All Dogs Go to Heaven with his review on his favorite Don Bluth film, The Land Before Time. Huey Lewis is what I like to call a comedic reviewer. He's not just someone who reviews an animated movie and talks about it and says what he likes about it, but he also likes to add comedic and entertaining elements to it as well. He even brings in people like some of his friends to review the film with him, myself included. But the funny thing was that we didn't review an animated movie. We reviewed like Jaws 2, and that's like one of my most viewed vids on here. But anyway though, Huey Lewis did fall into some trouble as he progressed. He started to look like a very famous reviewer, not on YouTube, but from somewhere else, which a lot of people already know who he is. And he also got into some sort of argument or fight with one of my closest friends on here, who I also would not like to mention. But besides the point, Huey Lewis is now back on his feet and continues to review animated films to this day, whether it be very old and classic ones like All Dogs, to more recent films like Despicable Me. So to put it in short, if any of you want to watch a reviewer who doesn't just review the film and actually adds his own comedic style to it, then definitely do check out Huey Lewis. He's a cool guy, and here's to you, Logan.
See you at the movies. Anime movies, that is.
The next person to mention is, of course, multi-anime fan, or Anna. Anna has literally become one of my closest friends on here. I mean, first she started off as a fan of my reviews and a subscriber, but then I started to talk to her a little bit more and we got to know each other a little better. For one thing, of course, me and her have a lot of things in common, of course being fans of All Dogs and Balto. Like her name states, she's of course a huge fan of anime, mostly of Trigun or Code Geass, which I reviewed for her. Anna is a very nice person, very sweet too, and easy to get along with and talk to. For one thing, she's not afraid to share more personal information the more you get to know her a little better, and like I have done so as well. She hopes to one day on YouTube become a movie reviewer like myself, and hopefully with my help and my friends' help, she can get there. Just for advice out there, Anna, it's really not that hard, and I suggest you start with a movie you really don't like at first. And trust me, there's a lot of those. So with that, if you want to meet someone who's cool and fun to get along with, definitely go check out Multi-Anime Fan. All of your anime fans out there might like to talk to her as well. So with that, hun, here's to you.
The Pick of Destiny.
Up next is Ibanez 930, or Miles. Miles, me and him met over our love for Balto. I mean, he had reviewed the first movie, and I thought that review was really cool, and I got to know him a little better through Skype. Miles is the only musician next to Danny P that I know of. For one thing, he's really good at, of course, the electric guitar and acoustic guitar. I mean, seriously, this guy can freaking rock out to Clips of Dover, to Jimi Hendrix, to freaking Tenacious D. I mean, he's that awesome. And for one thing, it's actually cool to see that he's not just a musician, but also a really good movie reviewer with that, reviewing movies such as District 9 or 2012 or Balto, of course. And for one thing, he's just a really cool guy to talk to. He's always outgoing, and it is kind of nice to actually talk to someone around my age group. It's not like I don't like talking to Dan or Zach once in a while. It's just that I would also like to talk to people who are, well, roughly around my age. Of course, Anna and Michael being an exception to that as well. But again, if you want to see someone who's really good at what he does, especially when it comes to playing guitar, definitely do check out Ibanez 930. He's freaking awesome at it. And for one thing, if you just want a friend to talk to, Miles can provide that for you as well. So with that, Miles, you're out there. Here's to you. Next to mention is Iguano, or Michael. Michael, I believe, is the youngest person I know right now, out of everyone that I know here on YouTube. Well, maybe next to someone else who is also a reviewer. Michael is the biggest fan of Balto I've ever met. I mean, what All Dogs is to me is Balto to Michael. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Balto, but not like Michael does. This guy literally looks at any little specific detail on the first movie or the sequels, whether it be that weird look that Jenna gave to Balto in the first one to the 3D animation used in the third movie. I mean, he is that obsessed. But just because he seems a little bit obsessed does not mean he's a cool guy to talk to. He really is. And he invites me to talk to him several times about certain things that seem, based off Balto or other things, or just what seem maybe random. In a lot of ways, he reminds me of Daniel as he tries to find logic into some of the things that he says. But Guano, he really does try to do the same thing. So if you're looking for just a cool guy to talk to, if you're like all the Balto fans out there, please do check out Iguano. He's like the biggest one you'll ever meet. And anyone else just wants a good conversation, please go talk to Michael as well. So Michael, here's to you.